This is Greg Hansen's video notebook brought to you by Domino's Pizza. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, joined via satellite and via Google Chat, Google Hangout, Greg Hansen, Arizona Daily Star's columnist extraordinaire, on location. Greg, where are you at?
Wow, via satellite. It sounds like I should be in Sochi, Russia or somewhere, but I'm in Springfield, Oregon, right outside of Eugene.
You just get back from talking to Sean Miller. What was his insight heading into tomorrow's Pac-12 regular season finale against Oregon?
I asked him if he expected tomorrow's game to be an absolute basketball holy war, and being a veteran of playing at, he played at Mac Court and coached at Mac Court, he said absolutely, and that's what I expect. Oregon had only sold out 2 games ever at the new arena, both last year, and tomorrow's game's already sold out. They're only averaging 7,500. So, Dana Altman went to the library this week to recruit students to go to games. Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous. You look at Oregon through the years, especially playing at Old Mac Court. That was the toughest place to play in the league, in part because it was so small and it was always packed.
It only seated 9,000. This new one seats 12,500, and I think for the size of the Eugene area, 12,500 might be a little too aggressive right now. I also think Oregon charges the second highest ticket prices in the league behind Arizona. So maybe the market, won't accommodate an arena that big yet, but it's going to accommodate it tomorrow.
Absolutely. This is Greg Hansen's video notebook brought to you by Domino's. Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen live from Oregon. Greg, the Ducks have so many questions, and they're such a strange team. A team full of transfers, started off the season undefeated, as talented maybe as anybody in the league outside of Oregon or outside of UCLA and Arizona.
Yeah.
What has gone wrong with them?
I think they just needed to decide on their personnel and wait until their transfers kind of, blended in a little bit, and they've obviously done that now. The big thing I thought was deciding on a point guard. They had split the job between Artis and Jonathan Lloyd. They finally decided to go with Lloyd. And now they've gotten all these home games in a row too, but I think it's because of that. It was inevitable. They had too much talent to just go in the tank for the whole year.
Greg, it strikes me as they might not be a team that necessarily outwardly enjoys playing with each other.
Wow, good point. I thought I saw that too in Tucson. Everybody wanted their shots. They've got guys, Jason Caliste. That guy's a 50-year senior, played at Detroit. That guy could be the best three-point shooter in the league, and he's only getting a few touches. When he gets any kind of space on a three-pointer, he's deadly. And they've got guys like that all through the lineup. Extremely capable team. They're in the tournament, win or lose tomorrow. They're 31 in the new RPI that came out today. They're going to be in the tournament. I think they could win the Pac-12 tournament. Avoid them at all costs if you think you're going to go somewhere in the NCAA tournament.
Sure. Well, Greg, what do the Wildcats have to play for here? It looks as if they've secured the regular season title. They're looking at a #1 seed, if not the #1 overall seed. What can they play for, and what's on the line for them?
Well, I could tell today that Sean Miller's not going to buy any excuses. His game face was on this morning. It usually is on anyway, but he's not going to lose that game tomorrow and be happy about it, even if it's a close game. He's as worried as anyone, and he should be, about Arizona's psyche for next week. There are just so many landmines that lie ahead. Everybody's shooting for Arizona. I think Arizona will give it their best shot tomorrow. There's no relaxing. And Lute Olson sometimes had the opposite approach late in the year when they had clinched the league. They kind of mailed it in a time or two. Sometimes it hurt them down the road. Sometimes it didn't. It's too hard to put on the map.
Sure. And with a win tomorrow, Greg, Arizona can secure the most successful regular season in program history. Is that anything those guys think about, or is that a sports writer thing?
That's funny you say that, because when you mentioned it to me, I was surprised. I thought no one could match the 1988 regular season. As it turns out, that team did have 2 losses in the regular season, but 27 wins. So this is new territory. If Arizona wins that game tomorrow, of all that Arizona basketball has achieved over the last 30 years, this would be something new that hasn't been accomplished. That's pretty. That's big time.
Absolutely. This is Greg Hansen's video notebook brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, everybody has a good
Arizona lost
story.
there, and they've only lost there 7 times in 30 years, which is hard to believe. Arizona lost, and you had to walk down to the basement to get to the locker room, and you had to mix in with the fans if you weren't quick. And one night, Lute wasn't quick enough, and he got accosted by some fans. And, he bowled his way through. It was like Chris Chambliss hitting that home run to win the pennant for the Yankees that one year, bowling his way down those old stairs. That'd be mine, but there's so many. If we ever have this chat for more than 2 hours, I could take up 2 hours.
Greg, I've been there once, but it was a wonderful experience. We were up there, I don't know if you remember, a football game, I believe it was the Chris Henry football game where he went off against the Ducks. The night before, they opened their season against Northern Colorado. I went with a buddy of mine, and we got tickets up in the old rafters there, the old wooden rafters where you can look down.
Third floor.
Their third floor. And we went all the way up there. Maybe the most unique game-watching experience of my life. And what I remember was watching Northern Colorado hit free throws with regulation over to beat the Ducks and saying that coach of theirs is really good because they completely out-thought and outplayed the Ducks. And, Greg, you know the coach that day, Northern Colorado?
Tad Boyle, right?
The Tad Boyle. And who would have thought, less than, 5 years later, he'd be, I would say, one of the top 3 or 4 tacticians in the Pac-12.
Oh, he's there, yeah. I was there in another lifetime. I covered Oregon State and Oregon. I lived here. And I went to a game once, Oregon State here. It was a total madhouse, as you might expect. And somebody brought a couple of live ducks to the arena and kept them under their rain gear. And during a crucial moment of the game when Oregon State had the ball, they threw the ducks onto the court. You can't beat what happened in that chaotic moment. That was catching those ducks. If you had a film of that now, it would just make tears come to your eyes.
Wow. One more thing, Greg. This is a little off the radar. Have you seen video yet of what that Santa Barbara kid did to the Hawaii coach last night?
I saw it last night, and I'm surprised somebody didn't just wipe up the court with him.
That's what I thought, too. I think that as a fan, once you run onto a court in the middle of a game, you're fair game. If this were football, the guy would have been decked.
Oh, and baseball, too. You've seen some of the videos of fans running in the outfield and just getting clotheslined by the left fielder.
Yeah, you're right. It's just wacky stuff. Who knew that Santa Barbara, Hawaii was actually being televised by somebody? That's what surprised me.
That's right. It was on an ESPN family channel.
It's just crazy. Greg, well, hey, we'll let you go. This is Greg Hansen's video notebook brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Greg, stay dry, have fun. We'll be talking to you early next week.
See you, Ryan. See you.
At Domino's, we're slowing down to make our handmade pan pizza the right way, taking our time to hand press the fresh dough into the pan, adding 2 layers of cheese, and slowing our ovens down to get the crust golden and crispy. So try a Domino's handmade pan pizza with 2 toppings for just $7.99.